The Third Testament, the Book of the True Life, Chapter 18, Works of Charity and the Central Significance of Love. The header reads, The Retroactive Grace of Good Works. Verse 1. Observe all the cases of human misery, pain, and need, and confronted by the sight of pain which everywhere surrounds you, let your heart become more sensitive. Verse 2. When you feel a generous and noble impulse to do good in the deepest part of your being, let that impulse overflow and manifest itself. It is the Spirit that sends its message because it has found its body ready and disposed. Verse 3. Let charity be the first among your aspirations, and you will never repent for having been charitable. For through that virtue you shall have the greatest satisfactions and happiness of your existence, and obtain at the same time all the wisdom, strength, and elevation yearned for by a noble spirit. Verse 4. Through charity for your brothers you will purify your spirit, repaying thereby old debts, ennobling your human life, and elevating your spiritual life. Verse 5. When you come to the door to which all come to call, your happiness will be very great, for you will hear the voice of welcome from the spiritual world that will bless you and call you to the work of regeneration and spirituality. Verse 6. Moreover, I say to you, blessed are those of my laborers who know how to feel in their hearts the sorrow of those deprived of liberty or health, and who visit and comfort them. For one day they will meet again, whether in this or another life, and you do not know if they then might have better health and more freedom and light than those who brought the message of love to them in a prison or a hospital. It is then that they will respond with gratitude, giving a hand to those who in another time gave it to them. Verse 7. That moment when you made my word enter his heart, the moment when you passed your hand over his forehead and made him think of me and feel me, will never be erased from his spirit, just as your face and your brotherly voice will never be erased, so that they will recognize you wherever you meet. Verse 8. In the same way that the breeze and the sunlight caress you, O my people, caress your fellow men. This is the time in which the poor and the needy are abundant. Keep in mind that he who asks for a favor is giving you the grace to be useful to others and to work toward your salvation. He gives you the opportunity to be merciful, and with it you can imitate your Father, because man is born to scatter the seed of righteousness throughout the world. Understand then that he who asks does you a favor. The header reads, True and False Charity. Verse 9. O my disciples, your greatest mission will be that of charity. Many times you will perform it secretly, without any display, not letting your left hand know what your right hand has given, but there will be occasions when your charity will have to be witnessed by your brethren in order for them to learn to share it. Verse 10. Forget about payment. I am the Father who rewards with justification the deeds of his children without neglecting a single one. Verse 11. I have told you that if you offer a glass of water with true charity, that gesture will not remain unrewarded. Verse 12. Blessed are those who on approaching say to me, Master, I expect no reward for my deeds. It is enough that I exist knowing that I am your son, so that my spirit will be filled with happiness. Verse 13. Do not foster any egotistical interest, thinking only in your salvation and in your reward, because your disappointment will be very painful when you shall find that in reality you were unable to work for any reward. Verse 14. So that you may better understand what I want to say to you, I give you the following example. There are and always have been men and women who have managed to perform charitable deeds among their brethren, and nevertheless, when they appear before me, they have not presented to me marriage towards their spiritual happiness. And how did this come about? Can you conceive that they could have been victims of an injustice on their father's behalf? The answer is simple. Disciples, they were not able to gather any benefit for themselves because their deeds were not sincere, because when they extended their hand to give something, they never did it, moved with a true feeling of charity toward the one who suffers, rather thinking of themselves in their salvation, in their reward. Some were moved by self-interest, others by vanity, and that is not true charity, because it was not heartfelt or unselfish. And I say to you that he who does not convey sincerity and love is not sowing the truth, nor is he working toward any reward. Verse 15. The apparent charity could provide you some satisfactions on earth that will arise from the admiration that you arouse and the adulation that you receive, but the apparent does not reach my kingdom. Only what is true reaches there. Everyone will reach that place without being able to conceal the least blemish or impurity, because before appearing before God, you shall deprive yourselves of mantles, crowns, insignias, titles, and all which pertains to the world, to present yourselves before the supreme judge as humble spirits who are to respond before the Creator about the mission entrusted to them. Verse 16. He who from love seeks to serve his neighbor consecrates himself to the good on one of the many paths of life offers. He knows that he is a being who must allow himself to be used by the divine will for very high purposes. I wish you to come to know, O disciples, so that it may be you who free those who have lost the path of evolution from their errors. Verse 17. True love, that which is beyond the heart, is the fruit of wisdom. See how I, in my word, sow wisdom in your understanding, and then wait for the fruit of your love. Verse 18. There are many ways to do good, many ways to console and serve. All of them are expressions of the love which is one alone, the love that is the wisdom of the Spirit. Verse 19. Some can go on the road of science, and others on that of the Spirit, others on that of feelings, and the meeting place for them all will be spiritual harmony. The header reads, spiritual and material acts of love. Verse 20. If you are poor materially, and for that reason you are unable to help your fellow men, do not be afraid. Pray, and I will bring peace and enlightenment to those in need. Verse 21. True charity, which gives birth to compassion, is the best gift that you can offer to the needy. If there is no love in your heart when you offer your brethren money, bread, or a glass of water, truly I tell you that you have not given anything. It will be better for you to keep what you have given. Verse 22. Humanity, when do you want to become aware of the power of love? You have not yet utilized that power, which is the origin of life. Verse 23. Do not see enemies, but brothers in all who surround you. Do not ask for punishment, so that you may give an example of forgiveness, and so there is no resentment in your spirit. Seal your lips and let me judge your cause. Verse 24. Heal the sick, help those who are unable to reason, and remove the spiritual beings that cause mental confusion. Help one and the other to become spiritually enlightened. Verse 25. Disciples, the maxim that I taught you in the second era, to love one another, is applicable to all the actions of your life. Verse 26. There are those who say to me, Master, how can I love my neighbor if I am an insignificant person whose life is dedicated to material work? Verse 27. To these little ones of mine, I say that even in that material work, apparently without importance, you can love your fellow men if you do that work with a will to serve your brothers. Verse 28. Imagine how beautiful your life would be if each man would work thinking and doing good and would join his small effort to those of others. Truly, I can tell you that misery would be unknown, but the truth is that each one works for himself, thinking only of himself and maybe in those closest to him. Verse 29. All of you need to understand that no one is sufficient unto themselves and that he or she needs others. You all must learn that you are intimately bound to a universal mission that you must complete in unity, not, however, a unity from material obligations, but of intention, of inspiration, and of ideal. In a word, by love for one another. The fruit of this will then be of benefit to all. Verse 30, I tell you, disciples, in my law of love, if you cannot do perfect works like those I did in Jesus, at least push yourselves to come close to them. It is enough for me to behold a bit of real will to imitate me, and a little bit of love for your fellow men, for me to help you and manifest my grace and power along your way. Verse 31, you will never be alone in the struggle if I do not abandon you when you are doubled over by the weight of your sins. Do you think I would abandon you when you are walking with the weight of the cross of this mission of love? The header reads, the integral significance of love. Verse 32, love has been the essence of my doctrine throughout the eras. Verse 33, love is the essence of God. From that strength all beings take life. From it all life and creation arose. Love is the beginning and the final destiny of all made by the Father. Verse 34, before that strength that moves, illuminates, and gives life to all things, death disappears, sin vanishes, negative passions fade, impurities are cleansed, and all that is imperfect is made perfect. Verse 35, I have revealed my existence and the reason for your own. I have revealed that the fire that gives life and animates all is love, and this is the principle from which all natures have sprung. Verse 36, and therefore you were born of love, exist for love, are forgiven out of love, and shall be in eternity through love. Verse 37, love is the beginning of and the reason for your existence. O humanity, how could you live without that gift? Believe me, there are many who carry death within them, and others that are sick merely from not loving anyone. The balm that has saved many has been the love and divine gift that restores true life, that redeems and elevates, is also love. Verse 34, love, for he who does not love bears deep sadness within himself, that of not possessing or feeling that is most beautiful and elevated in life. Verse 39, that was what Jesus came to teach you with his life and death, and it is that which he bequeathed to you in his divine word, condensed in the phrase, love one another with that love that I have shown you. Verse 40, the day will come when those who have not loved, throwing off their bitterness and their prejudices, shall come and rest in me, where they shall return to life hearing my sweet word of infinite tenderness. Verse 41, truly I tell you, in love is my strength, my wisdom, and my truth. It is like an infinite ladder that is seen in different forms, from those inferior to humans to those most elevated of the spirits who have achieved perfection. Verse 42, love, though it be in your own way, but love always. Do not hate, for hate leaves a trail of death, while through love forgiveness is obtained and all malice erased. Verse 43, I tell you that who does not love who does not manifest his love in the most elevated form and with absolute purity, lacks true knowledge, and very little shall he possess. In contrast, he who loves with all his spirit and all the powers that have been given him shall bear within himself the light of wisdom, and he shall feel himself truly to be the owner of all around him. For what is of the Father is the property of his children as well. Verse 44. Love will give you the knowledge to understand the truth which others seek in vain along the rocky roads of science. Verse 45. Allow the Master to guide you in all your actions, words, and thoughts. Be prepared under his pleasing and loving example, and you will manifest the divine love. Thus you will feel nearer to God, for you will be in harmony with him. Verse 46. If you love, you will come to be humble as Jesus was. Verse 47. He who loves understands. He who studies has willpower. He who has willpower can accomplish very much. I say to you that neither elevation nor knowledge will he have, nor will he do great deeds, who does not love with all the power of his spirit. Verse 48. Do not allow your heart to become vain, because your heart symbolizes the flame of eternity from where everything emerges and comes to life. Verse 49. The Spirit utilizes the heart to manifest its love through the human body. However, if your love is only physical, law within your love will only be temporary, because your body is temporary. But when your love is spiritual, it will be similar to that of the Divine Father, who is eternal, perfect, and unchangeable. Verse 50. All life and all creation are related to the Spirit, because it possesses eternal life. Do not limit yourself. Love me and love one another, because you are children of a being who possesses infinite love. That being is God himself. Verse 51. Elevate yourselves on the path that leads to the mountaintop, and with every step you take, you will understand my teachings better, and will perfect yourselves more to understand the divine language. Verse 52. What is the language of the Spirit? It is love. Love is the universal language. Do you not see that human love also speaks? Many times it does not need words, but speaks better with deeds and with thoughts. If human love manifests itself this way, how shall your language be when you are perfected in my law? Verse 53. If you consider that I am wisdom, that wisdom comes from love, if you recognize me as judge, that justice is based in love, if you believe I am powerful, my power is built on love, if you know that I am eternal, my eternity comes from love, for it is life, and life makes spirits immortal. Verse 54. Love is light, life, and knowledge, and I have given you that seed from the beginning of time. It is the only one that I, the perfect sower, have planted in the land of your hearts. The header reads, the overall power of love. Verse 55. O men and women of the world, who have forgotten in your sciences the only thing that will make you wise and happy, you have forgotten about the love which inspires all, the love which does everything and changes everything. You live in pain and in darkness, for by practicing the love which I teach you, you bring about your physical or spiritual suffering. Verse 56. In order to discover and understand my messages, first you need to be kind and humble of heart, virtues which exist within every spirit since the moment of their creation. But to feel the true elevated feelings of love, you need to spiritualize yourselves, cultivating your good sentiments, but you have wanted to have everything in life except spiritual love. Verse 57. During all times you have had guides who have taught you the power of love. They have been your most advanced brethren, with a greater understanding of my law and a greater purity in their deeds. They have come to give you an example of strength, love, and humility. by exchanging their life of errors and sins for an existence dedicated to righteousness, sacrifice, and charity. Verse 58. From infancy to old age, you have clear examples of all that can be accomplished by love and the pains which can originate by the lack of charity. But you, more insensible than the rocks, have not been able to learn the teachings and examples that your daily living offers. Verse 59. Have you sometimes observed how even the wild animals gently respond to a call of love? Well, in the same manner, the elements can respond, the forces of nature and all that exists within the material and spiritual world. Verse 60. That is why I say to you that you should bless everything with love in the name of the Father and Creator of the universe. Verse 61. To bless means to saturate. To bless is to feel righteousness, to say it and to deliver it. To bless is to impregnate all that surrounds you with thoughts of love. Verse 62. Truly, I tell you that love is the unchangeable force that moves the universe. Love is the beginning and the essence of life. Verse 63. I am initiating a time of spiritual resurrection for all, a time in which I will cause the flowering of that blessed seed of love that I poured out over the world from the top of a cross, announcing to you that when men love one another as I taught them to, death will have been dislodged from the world, and in its place life will reign over humanity and be manifest in all their works. My peace be with you. This concludes chapter 18 of the Third Testament, the book of the true life. Thank you for listening. Shalom.